Do you accept every and anything in the name of peace? When you find yourself perhaps in a difficult situation, let's say you renting at your cousin's house at a very low price, okay? Because it's your cousin. Number two, you're going through a difficult time. You have no money or your job has just kicked you out, but you got children. Then your cousin comes up with a rule saying that you have to enter your room or your house before 7 p.m. You're an adult. How do you react to that? You're an adult. You're still trying to find things to work for you because you were kicked out of your job. You're obviously trying to hustle to find another job, but you got a family. Now you have to leave the house where you used to live because you can't pay it anymore. The only alternative you have is staying at your cousin's townhouse. You know what a townhouse is? You know, where you have like numbers of houses in the same compound. That's what Nigerians call it, compound or yard. It's one yard with many houses. That's a townhouse, right? Now, your cousin's got townhouses and he lets you stay in one of the houses in his townhouse. But the rule says 6 p.m. is the limit for you to enter the house. You want to stay in my house, you have to be here before 6 p.m. Do you agree to that, Alonso? The next thing is your cousin is from a different religion and you're not from that religion. He says, oh, for you people to stay at my place, since you've been staying here already for 1 week, you all have to convert to my religion or else you get out. How do you react to that? I mean, obviously you need to think if you've got children and stuff, you need to be cautious. But it comes a time where you say, you know what, I don't think I can do this. I mean, thank you very much for hosting me for the past 6 days, but I cannot come home before 6 p.m. It just makes no logical sense. Since I'm in a very difficult situation, I'm trying to find myself. And again, thank you so much for your assistance, but I cannot change my religion solely because you say so. And you're saying that for me to stay at your house, I must change my religion. I mean, a lot of people will curve into that. Trust me, no doubt about that. A lot of people can accept anything provided they are gifted a little bit of sustenance to survive. It's sad. Some people will betray their own people provided they are nourished. Well, there are a group of people, fortunately, that today will stand strong in spite of the difficulties you put them through. South Africa. South African Authority has rejected an offering, a proposal by South African big company. This is a mining company. Well, the mining company has basically said to the South African government, without going through the minister, seeing the president directly, saying, Mr. President, have you thought about this? How about you offer the United States of America access to rare minerals? Should alleviate the problem that you're going through right now. You do know South Africa and the United States are going through hurdles right now. They're not seeing eye to eye. You know, America accusing South Africa of genocide against white people.
Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is doing some terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
Of taking land from white people by force with no compensation and many other stories. You see that, right? And right now, the US has imposed sanctions on South Africa. Number two, has stopped the aid they used to provide to sick people. You know, people living with HIV and tuberculosis used to get medication and supply coming from the United States of America through USAID. That has stopped. The United States of America has imposed 30% tariff on South Africa goods.
Yeah, I think it is. It is a very low level, particularly because since the last 30 years, there has been disagreements with the U.S. administration on a number of issues. But the diplomatic lines of engagements have always been open. And there has not been a situation where like we do now, where some of the issues come into the domestic sovereign space, like the issues of expropriation, which are dealt with by our courts, by our laws, and there is sufficient safeguards domestically to handle them.
Well, USA is South Africa's second distributor, second trader, biggest trader in the world after China. So that's a major blow. South Africa used to benefit from AGOA, which allowed them to send things to the US, meaning agricultural good, car equipment, car exchange, and many other goods at zero tariff, meaning the market in the US became just an extension of South Africa, so they could make a lot of money. That has stopped. Now, the president, this man right here, good man, he's good looking, isn't he? Yeah, he's been trying to fix things between them and America. However, it's been very difficult.
The looming deadline with regards to what President Trump announced as South Africa, when we went to the White House, we started a process of engagement. And that process continues. The Minister of Trade and Industry and Competition continues to engage with his counterpart in the United States. And I am hopeful that we will be able to reach an understanding. We've made a clear proposal and offer to them, and they are examining that, and they will come back to us.
Now, somebody big from a big company, a big mining company, has gone to the president and Mr. President, how about you offer these things to the United States of America? Give them access to the minerals. This should alleviate the problem. He went to the president without going through the Minister of Mining himself. This man right here, Minister of Mining, Wende Manteshe, is the Minister of Mineral and Petroleum Resources. This is what he said. We do not want a strategy of supplying critical minerals exclusively to the United States. We need a comprehensive strategy aimed at developing the mining industry in the interest of all market players. So in other words, you remember what America did with Ukraine, okay? The deal with mines. You want the war to end in Russia, you got to sign the deal. Remember that pressure?
Really partnering with Ukraine in terms of rare earth. We very much need rare earth. They have great rare earth. We don't have that much of it here. We have some, but we don't have that much, and we need a lot more to really propel us to the next level of, we need resources. We have to double our electric capacity. We have to do many things. We have to really triple, if you think of it, the electric capacity from what we have right now, if you can believe it. It brings us great wealth. We get back the money that we spent, and we hope that we're going to be able to settle this up.
When Zelensky went to the United States of America and was embarrassed in front of like 30 different men, putting pressure on him.
Not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. Right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
For him to sign a deal, right, of signing away the minerals of, you know what I'm saying? The same thing they've done to the Congo, this country right here, DRC, different from this guy. I know there's confusion. There's two Congos, the DRC and the Congo Republic, two different countries. DRC is this one, it's the country at war. If you hear war in Africa, it's the DRC. Well, the DRC has been at war for the past 30 years. Why? Because a lot of things. One of them is the mineral. They have a lot of it. Gold, diamond, lithium, copper, you name it. They even have uranium. Matter of fact, the uranium used to create the atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, the one the American dropped.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Was pulled out of the DRC in Shikolobwe. Yes. How have those minerals done for the DRC? Absolutely nothing. The country is at war, it's poor, people are suffering, and it's bad. Don't tell me it's rich, it's not, because rich is not about how much minerals you have. Rich is about how much brains you have, so you can activate the action the mineral can actually bring to the normal citizen. That is not happening in the Congo. Now, the USA has signed a deal with the Congo to end the war in the Congo. Congo has been accusing Rwanda of being the intruder in the Congo and creating the mayhem and all the rebels that you see.
Rwanda's defense forces, in support of their M23 puppet, are continuing their terrorist enterprise on our territory, sowing terror and desolation among our populations. These acts are not only an attack on the Republic, but an affront to the history and dignity of our people.
So Congolese have accused Rwanda of all of that. Rwanda comes into Congo through rebels, pretending that they are Congolese rebels, but actually Rwandese. Their objective, as per DRC, is to steal all the minerals from the DRC. Therefore, DRC went to the United States of America, having a discussion with the President Trump. The goal was, okay, if the United States of America, or any other country for that matter, purchases lithium, gold, cobalt, copper from Rwanda, meaning the good that is extracted by Rwanda from the DRC, why couldn't they, the DRC, just sign a deal directly with the buyers, the United States of America, and cut Rwanda off? Well, after doing that, they thought they were playing a very big game. Unfortunately for them, Donald Trump said, okay, we cannot sign a deal with just you. We actually have to sign a deal with Rwanda as well. So the three of us. So y'all thought you're going to get the deal between you and Trump. Now, Trump said, no, we need to include Rwanda. Well, then I think about it and I'm like, why didn't you just discuss with Rwanda then? Have a discussion and resolve this immediately between the two of you. Now you've brought in Trump, you've got a third party. So Whatever you had to divide by 2, now you have to divide by 3. So basically, keep in mind, Ukraine had the deal, but the deal is not active yet. But the one in the DRC is already active. The Ukrainians are willing to fight. They're not willing to sign any deal with Trump and the Russians for their good. Let's continue. Now, this is a very similar situation they're trying to bring into South Africa. Okay, they're trying to get South Africa because of the pressure. Okay, you remember, there's pressure in Ukraine, which comes from the Russian war. They asked the Ukrainians to sign a deal or else the war continues. Ukraine said, maybe not.
I think it will be chaos. The fighters, the guys who are now fighting for our land, for pieces of our land, I think they won't listen to Zelensky, and we will keep pushing, because this is our land. How can we give it to someone just because they took it? I don't think it is going to work out.
There's pressure in the Congo due to the war Congolese say comes from Rwanda. US uses that to say, you sign the deal with the minerals, then we can end the war. The Congolese sign. Well, there's pressure in South Africa in terms of economics. Now there's a potential solution brought by a major player saying, offer them the minerals so we can end the pressure. And the South African minister said no. Well, let me put a context to you. Most of the big companies, in Africa, not just South Africa, are run not by Africans. I'm sorry, I'm just putting it this way for you. I know you may disagree and this and that. Yeah, there are some Africans that are doing great. Absolutely. But in major cases, when somebody says, just give them, what they want, give them minerals, it's probably one of their cousins. You know what I'm saying? You get the point. Okay. A proposal by South Africa's biggest mining company, biggest mining company, and other business leaders advising President Cyril Ramaphosa on how to offer the US access to Africa's critical minerals angered the nation's mining minister, who saw it as an attempt by the firm to advance its own interest. A firm is asking the president to offer minerals to the United States of America in return to get pressure alleviated. Now, what are we talking about here? We're talking about coal, chrome, ore, iron ore, manganese, platinum as critical minerals. This is what the United States of America is looking for. Now, this is different from what you find in abundance in the rest of Africa, which is copper, cobalt, lithium. You need all that. You find a lot of that in the DRC. Lithium, copper, and cobalt are things you need for very important things, such as your cell phone. Like if you have a cell phone, you need a battery for it. You probably have blood from the Congo in your hand. So you need to treat those people really good, actually. All of us, I'm telling you. Because, Congo is the biggest producer in the world of the stuff that you need for your batteries, and not just batteries for cell phones. We're talking about computers. We're also talking about electric cars. So how do you think those people will want peace to be in that Congo? Because if they're not gaining at 100%. So again, this is what Gwede Manteshe said. He said, we do not want a strategy of supplying critical mineral exclusively to the United States of America. That is a deal they wanted to sign with Ukraine. Exclusive. So we only us, we're going to access your stuff. And I bet you this is very similar deal they signed with the Congo. Only us, nobody else is coming here without our authorization. We do not want a strategy of supplying critical minerals exclusively to the United States. We want comprehensive strategy aimed at developing the mining industry and the interest of all market players. That's a good thing that a country has somebody in a position of mining minister that can read between the lines and cut out the bullshit. Say, no, we're not going to accept this. As you can see, South Africa is willing to stand strong, against the pressure, which is a very good thing, as much as apparently they are begging, because apparently they are trying to get things right with the United States of America. But when it comes to that line, when it comes to the 6 p.m., this is 6 p.m., you have to come and say, no, we can't come in between 6 p.m. No, we have things to do. When it comes to minerals, no, we can't touch that, okay? There are many things they want South Africa to change, like a program called BEE. It's Black Economic Empowerment. Black Economic Empowerment was a creation with the goal of helping Black people, catch up financially in terms of commerce, business, position in companies. In many, many years, white people ran South Africa in all areas, commerce, business, and everything else. You didn't find many South Africans living in good position in terms of, work and stuff like that, and business and contract. Well, BEE was created to help many Black people catch up financially, get contract, get position, get, that balance, financial balance to give the Black people a bit of a length. But it's been combated. And right now, the administration in America don't like the BEE very much. They haven't expressed it openly, but they don't want it because they think it's racist. But BEE was created to reverse the racism that was applied to Black people in South Africa for many, many years. Because today, many white people in South Africa have length of advantage over black people for many, many things, many advantages they've had over life. And I'm not saying not all white people, but the majority do.